You're asking if the father leopard would ever share food with the mother of either of these individuals. Well, not really. So how leopard society works is that a mother is completely independent from the male. So what happens is that a male will mate with a female, she'll produce offspring, and he plays no part in the fathering other than defending the territory and making sure other males don't move in that could potentially kill those cubs. So that's how it kind of works in terms of the dynamic between male and female. When it comes to food, the males are always king. They will chase the females off food. So let's say hypothetically these were two females that we saw here. You would probably find the male would come in, assert himself, and try and take over the carcass. That's generally what happens, and that's what makes what we're seeing here so unique, is that this dominant male is not actually chasing the two young males off food. I have seen dominant males with younger males before on carcasses, and normally the dominant male is the one that controls the food item, pushes the two youngsters away, and that's why this is just such an odd sighting and just so unique, and something that we'll probably in all likelihood not see again in a very, very long time. We're being absolutely spoilt by having a situation like this. Now, in the background, there's also some hyenas that are starting to arrive as well. So they do have natural predators. There you can see a hyena is just running in now. Now I wonder if this hyena is going to start chasing any one of the leopards. There you go. You see it's starting to come in. So they've heard the crunching of the bones, and now they're coming in to investigate if there is some scraps. Now, Soval, this is one of the predators that leopards have to worry about. Not so much when they're big adults like what we see here. So these young males and this big dominant male don't have to stress about a hyena like this. When they're cubs, hyenas are very, very, very dangerous to leopards, and a number of leopard cubs are killed by hyenas every year. Then the other predators that they'll have is lions. They'll also have a situation where other male leopards will be a problem. So let's say this male leopard produced cubs with a female. If a new male leopard came into the area, he's going to kill those cubs to bring that female back into estrus and try and then assert himself as a dominant individual. But this hyena is slowly but surely walking straight towards the big dominant male leopard. Now, a big dominant male leopard and a young hyena like this are not going to really scrap it out, because that young hyena is going to be nervous. You can see the hyena is now turned. The leopard's just watching him. His head is down. He's focusing and just watching what's going on. And the hyena is now deciding rather to come towards the young individual. And he's probably going to try and rob this young individual. So he'll use bravado, and the hyena will rush in to try and push the youngster away. And being a young leopard, you see he's nervous and he runs and drops the food item, and the hyena can then steal it. And that's why they go up into trees with their food, is to try and protect their food and to try and keep it to themselves. Now, Brianna, you're asking how far are we from observing these leopards? Well, at the moment, the closest leopard to us is probably, I would say, about 20 meters away. It's not very far at all. And the thing is about this area is that because we are around every day and we find these leopards when they're still tiny and they're cubs, they get very used to the vehicles. And so some of these leopards will lie right in the shadow of the vehicle and not worry about us at all. And so we're very fortunate in that we do have relaxed leopards, and it's one of the reasons that this particular area is probably the singular best place to view leopards in the world. It is an incredible part of the world to see a leopard, and it's why this reserve became famous, and it's because these leopards have become so used to our presence that they move around very, very close to us, and we are able to get these intimate views of leopards as they go about their life. And you can see they're not perturbed by us at all, so they're not looking at us, they're not watching what our movements are. They're just in a situation where they are completely acting naturally and doing their own thing, and that's all because we don't try and steal food from them, we don't chase them, we don't hurt them. There's no hunting that takes place in any of these areas, and that means that the leopards have become trusting of these vehicles and know that the vehicles are not something to worry about. They're completely unperturbed by them. Now, you may have noticed some of the other vehicles that are in the area with us, and so there are tourists that are in this particular section of the reserve, and so if you do hear a vehicle coming in and out, it is because of that situation, is that there are tourists that are coming to see these animals as well. Dab, this area is most certainly protected. This is an area that is heavily protected. We have basically armed anti-poaching units that will patrol to make sure that people are not coming in here and hunting illegally. All of the animals that lie inside here, as well as the vegetation and everything else, are completely protected. And so it is a protected area, and we form part of what is called the Greater Kruger National Park. So it is a massive tract of land in the northeastern corner of South Africa that is protected, and we are a